Hey YouTube, how you doing? Your boy Hunter here with another Blender tutorial. Now this isn't gonna be a super long video. I just want to show you how to make a first-person controller for your games. One, you can actually use the crouch and have your basic movements. So I'm just gonna delete these two for now, and I'm only gonna be using the cube. So make sure you're in increments. I'm gonna press. Oh, let me just turn this on quickly. Screencast keys and show screencast keys. There we go. So now I can see what I'm pressing at all times. So I'm gonna press G, C, and hold in the control button and just snap it up, just like that. But now the origin is right in the center of my mesh, which I don't want. So I'm gonna Control Z, tap into edit mode for that, and G, Z, and there we go. You want the origin at the center of your mesh. Okay. I'm gonna take this, and if you want to make it an accurate size, we can also go Shift A and armature and just the human mirror rig. Just move it to the side. There you can see we got a nice size for this. So it's a 2 meter by 2 meter if I'm not mistaken. So hit A and Shift S, well, not Shift S, S and Shift Y. Shift X, let's see, no, Shift Z. Okay, my bad. So you can see Shift Z, we can do this. So make it nice and small. Something like that should work. And then I'm gonna make a loop cut like this by pressing Ctrl R and making a loop cut. And I'm gonna select both of these and S Shift Z. I'm just gonna make it like a cylinder. You can always just add a cylinder, but I prefer doing it myself. So let's try that a little bit less, something like that. Now the reason we're doing it like this, let's say you have a door. I'm just gonna add a cube real quickly so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so say this is your door frame and you want to go through the door. We're trying to get a nice size for this. And auto merge. Okay, so now we got the, oh, what the hell? I said E to extrude. Okay, so we got the door. Now let's say you're going through the door. Look at what happens. Okay, obviously this is not a proper size for the door, but just do this. Come on, select it. I'm not gonna be precise for this. Okay, but you want to rotate this by RZ and let's try 90 degrees. No, RZ 45. No. Okay, anyway. So I can go through the door. If I'm right here and I try to rotate, come on, you will see it might clip a little bit, but it won't stop you from going through the door. Well, whereas you use a cube, Shift A, mesh, and a cube. Let's do the same is the Z. I'm just gonna explain this real quickly. Make the same size. Going through, you won't be able to turn. It's gonna clip, so it's gonna stop you from rotating in this door. So this is what we're gonna be using. So I'm just gonna delete this. I'm not gonna be using this. I'm not gonna be using this anymore because I already got what I need. And for this now, go to your viewport display on your object. So that would be underneath the object data properties. And you're looking for viewport display. Let me just find it real quickly. Come on, viewport display. There we go. And just instead of this display as textured, you're gonna say wire. There we go. Now this is the first part. The reason why we're doing it like this, because now we can just scale it up and down. So if I hit tab and S, you will see I can scale it on the Z-axis just like that. So it's gonna scale to the origin. Okay, but these faces, I'm not gonna be needing them. That's too much extra geometry, so just leave those faces, because we are going to triangulate the mesh. So we're gonna go right here at the physics properties, and we're gonna go from static to character. If you use dynamic, let me just show you dynamic, and you give it a collision bounds. Oh, you can use the triangulated mesh. Okay, I forgot, I thought it only gives you the, what was it, the character? Yeah, so the character only convex hull. So you're going to need to use the dynamic, all that. Come on, my mouse flipping around. And then triangulated mesh. So it's gonna triangulate the whole mesh. Okay. So I'm gonna shift A, mesh, and just a plane. We're gonna make this the floor. Okay. Now obviously with the jump with the dynamic body it's a little hard to do, but we should be able to manage. For that. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna need is a cube. Shift a mesh, and don't use an empty. Don't use an empty. Use a mesh and a cube. Bring it up, scale it down. There we go. So this is going to be the point of reference for the camera. Shift A and scale. Same with this. Shift A and all transform. Well, actually, Control A. And just the scale and the rotation. Do not do the location. So we're gonna parent this to this, Control P and object. Now this is only going to be a placeholder for the camera. So we can scale this up and down now. As you can see, it's gonna stretch. Now that's where the magic happens. So I'm gonna tap into edit mode with this. If you have extra objects enabled in your edit and preferences, and I think it's just single. Okay, so it's not that, it's extra. Add extra objects, all of them, so you can just enable these, and now I can go Shift A, well Shift S because it is selected, and then Shift A, and I'm gonna go for just a single vertex. So that's gonna make a single vertex inside of this cube. And for this cube, I'm also going to be going and instead of static, make it no collision. Otherwise, it's gonna mess your whole thing around. Okay. And then viewport display as well. And again, textured wire. So now we're gonna go 3, Shift A, and a camera. Okay, so now we got a camera, and it's looking forward. And if you want to be sure if it's aiming the right direction, no, it's not. So RZ and -90. Just like that. And we can scale it down, put it inside of the cube, or maybe just outside of the cube, that's up to you. And I'm gonna take this is gonna be the focal length. Put it in. You can see the focal length is about 36.43, so I think that's pretty much good. You can also make it like what was it, 33. And something like that. There's a nice focal length. Now I'm gonna tap hit this and then this, tab into this view, well, into object mode for this. Then we got the vertex in the center, and Control P and make vertex parent. So now when I rotate this cube, nothing's happening, but when I move it up and down, it works. So now just to show you, Shift A, and I'm gonna add a mesh, and I'm gonna add a cube. I'm gonna scale this cube down, just bring it forward a bit, and go into camera view. Place it where the hand will be, let's say right there. Save into edit mode, let's just make like a hand form. I'm not gonna go too much into detail with this, but just so we can see what's going on. Something like that. Okay, so now we got a hand, and I'm just gonna mirror this. Add modifier, mirror, and then I'm just gonna mirror object, the camera, and then just apply this. Okay, so now we got two hands. So usually when you get something like this, place it inside of the camera. That's not gonna work, so I've already enabled the, well, applied the mirror modifier, but that's right. Something like that should work. Okay, and then for this you can use the clipping for the camera to, so you don't get this clipping, you can just set it to 1. So clip start, just like that, 0.1. Okay, I'm gonna give this a new material. You can actually see it, so I'm just gonna make like a skin color. Something like that should work, and then I'm just gonna add a new material here as well, just make it nice and dark. And I'm gonna bring the roughness all the way up. So now we got something like this. Now this is actually what I wanted to show you. I'm gonna select this and select this, parent it to the camera. When I go into this and I go to the camera and SZ, as you can see, I'm scaling the object, and the hands, they are not scaling. Now I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna parent it to the cube. Control P and object. Again, is set. As you can see, this is what happens. Oh, because I'm scaling that, so my bad. Is it? And look at what happens. Now it's squishing everything. Okay, so from now on, this is only going to do the location for the camera on the Z-axis. Not gonna scale anything that's parented to the camera, so you can use this to move the camera up and down, left and right, and this is only to move the camera. So the rotation for this, that's also another issue, because now I can see the camera is not following. Now there's more than one way to fix this, and I actually used constraints the last time, so I think that's what I'm gonna do this time as well. So, let me just think. I think it was a copy rotation on the camera. Oh. Control Shift C, and just a copy rotation. Wrong way around. I'm gonna see the cameras aiming downwards, so now we're gonna have to go to the constraints and go to local space and local space. Not gonna work right now. And after original. So now when I rotate this, it's not working. Why is it not working? Oh, space. Can't remember exactly how I got this to work. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it's rotating in the wrong direction, so we're going to have to... what was it? Okay. Now this is a bit of trial and error. Like I said, I can't really remember how I did it the last time. I tried before original and then world space and world space. Ah, there we go. So it was before original. So we can still rotate this up and down and use this to rotate. And we can still scale it up and down without the arm stretching. So that's a cool way to do a first-person character rig. Now with full body, you're also gonna have something to rotate with. So again, let's say you want to do a full body, you're not going to parent it to the cube or the camera, you're going to be parenting it to empty down here. So cursor to selected, Shift A, and use a empty, and I'm just going to use a plain axis. You're going to use this to parent to this, Control P and vertex. So again, it's not going to copy the rotation. As you can see, that's a little weird because it's not parenting to the right vertex. So Tab G, Control P, make vertex parent, so now it should work. Yep. Now we can rotate. Gonna move it up and down. So again, we're gonna use the same method we used for this. Just copy rotation. So the best we can do is just go to this and like this, or the other way around. So, object, game, properly. Constraints and copy constraints to selected object. No, that was wrong. So there we go. So now it's gonna keep rotating like that. If you really wanted to, you can add a empty in front for it to track to in the game, but for now this is good. So now you can use a full body and you can actually now parent this to this. Control P and object. So now when I scale this, we can still rotate it. Easy. Is it? But now the arms are parented to the empty down there. So now that's what you will do if you want to make like a full body person, you know, first person character, but I explained that in one of my previous tutorials. So now it's for the fun part. Now I'm gonna add logic. Actually, animation first, timeline, and then just on this, I'm gonna add one. I'm gonna make sure it's only on scaling, so king and scale is Z. So let's say we want to crouch this far. Alright, that's good. Okay, let's try. I think 20 frames will be good. Okay. Now let's go into the logic editor, add the keyboard and make it C, add an action, and just that cube action, and it was 20 frames if I'm not mistaken. So this you don't want to have on play, you want to have on flipper maybe. Let's see. So if I hit play, okay, for some reason we're bouncing up and down. Why is it bouncing? And there's also static and make it collision bounce. I think that should fix that. Yeah, it's fixed. Just because this didn't have a collision bounce. So Alt G. And then let's test it out. Let's see if we can crouch. Pressing C, releasing C. If you want to toggle the crouch, you can also use a ping pong. So when I tap my C key, he's gonna go. Then I tap it again. But I'll just use the flipper for now. Okay, so there's the first part done. Now I'm gonna need a mouse. Another hand controller and another mouse on this side. Now I'm gonna send this upwards and then just hook them up. Now there's not gonna be visibility, it's gonna be look, and there's gonna be mouse and movement, just like that. Now we don't want it to rotate on the Y, on the X-axis, so just turn that off. We just want it to rotate on the Z. Don't want to press play. Nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? Supposed to work. So it's possible that the constraints aren't working. Let's see if this might solve the problem. Let's just Shift D and just, this is what I had to do the first time if I'm not mistaken. Copy object, just parent it to this. And then this is gonna have always edit object, empty, and track 2. Let's see if that works. There we go. The copy rotation constraints, they're not really helping a lot. So that means we're gonna have to do exactly the same for the camera. Duplicate this, Shift D, GZ. Now you wanna Shift S cursor to selected, and then Shift S selection to cursor, and then just drag it out, just like that. And again, it's parented to the controller. So now you want this camera to have always and edit object and a track 2. So when we play, you can look around, but now it's not tracking in the right direction. I'm just gonna parent this to the camera so you can see. Control P, object, and let's have a, now it's aiming downwards. So I think this would be the X-axis thing. There we go. But now I can't look up and down. So that's where the mouse comes in. Mouse, mouse, and movement. look and movement, just like that. And now we don't want to rotate it on the z-axis, we want to rotate it on the y. Okay, but now you can see this is what happens. Can't really go like that because now the tracking of this thing doesn't really work. So how do we fix that? We're gonna need another cube. Well, this thing, we can use that. So instead of using the camera to do the rotation, we got the track to, so it's always gonna track to this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and parent this to this, Control P and object. Wait a minute, come on. Come on. Control P and object. And then on this, I'm just gonna add a mouse and a mouse and make this look and make this movement. Now again, you don't want it to rotate on the Z, only on the Y, so the X. So it's not doing much at the moment. I don't think this is parented correctly. I think we just take away the constraints as well. Now it's still not looking up and down. Supposed to, and the camera is supposed to track to it. Ah, there was my problem. So now I can look around. Left, right, up, down. Alright, so now we need movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4 keyboard sensors. I just press K on my keyboard. And then on this side, I'm just going to press T on my keyboard for motion. Just minimize all of these for now. And hook them up. Okay. So now we're gonna rename these as W and make it W. Make this S and rename it as S. D. No, not A. D and D. Okay, it's actually A, and then the last one is gonna be D. Okay, so W is A and D is fine. So now I'm gonna go from global to local. So I can see what's going on, and I should have done that with the camera as well. The Y is up and the Z is back. As you can see, that's what the tracking is doing. But for now, this is positive Y, so the first motion will be positive Y. Second motion will be negative Y. This is positive X. And negative X. Let's test it out. Forward, back, left, no, left and right, wrong way around. So yeah, that's good. Now I can move around. And if you want them to run, you want to give them a bit of a sprint, you can always just go ahead and add another keyboard, make a shift, and maybe W on this side for a modifier, and make it always, and then another motion. C. So we're gonna add the location instead of, so add location, and that would be the liner velocity. So this is gonna be on the positive y. I'm gonna make it like that should work now. So let's test it out. That's not working. Whoa. I can't really see if it's running or not, so there's one way to do that, and that's just giving this a material. Well, not a material, a texture. So, come on. I'm gonna go into my shader editor just real quickly and just Control T if you have Node Wrangler enabled. So then Control S, not Control S. What was it? Alt S. Okay, this selected Shift S. Oh, Shift S to switch and make it a texture, and just what was that? A checker texture, and then make it 5. Just like that. So now I can test, see if it's running or not. So it's not running. So let's see why it's not running. Sometimes there is a little bit of an issue with this. And I actually added to the force. So let's try and add it directly to the location. There we go. Now I can sprint. Now obviously these motions are way too fast, so you can always just bring it down, make everything 0.5 now. The motion 0.005. Negative 0.05. Motion negative 0.05. No, that's times negative 0.05. And this would just be 0.10. 0.05. And now it should walk a little slower. As you can see, I'm crouching and I'm still looking around. No clipping. Okay, just to show you this crouch system works, I'm gonna quickly add a few cubes around the scene. Actually, before I do this, I'm just gonna go ahead and just give it some aesthetic, just give it collision bound to the box. And maybe just make it like well, actually the second one I'm gonna make it. Alright, so let's give it a try. Collide with everything, push it around, push it off the edge. Bye. And there we go. You got a nice crouch. And obviously you can make the crouch a lot faster if you really wanted to, so let's try and do that. Because I didn't apply the action yet, so I can go into dope sheet. And let's make like, let's say 5 frames. Or maybe we can use 20 frames and we can also just go into this, this right here and where was it? Sample frames 1 is good. I've been here. Render properties and make it 60 frames. And now it should be faster. But now when I'm underneath this, there's a little bit of a problem. You can see it snaps back. Okay, so there is a way to fix this. You're just gonna have to let's make a duplicate of this. GZ, scale it down, make it basically the same size as the whole, and we don't want to render it. It's gonna be a wire, and the physics, gonna make it static and a ghost. Okay, so that's gonna work like a sensor. So when the player collides with this, we wanted to send a message: don't stand up. Okay. So dope, not logic editor, and collision, and let's say player. Now, obviously we don't have this yet on the player controller, so add and control V. So that's going to be player, and there's going to be a message to the player. I'm actually going to have to rename this now. Let's just rename this as from cube to player, control V. And now I've got a shitload of cubes, so okay, so it's going to be to the player. It's going to be don't stand up, and just a few. So that's the message the player is gonna get. And just to make sure that it's always running, we're always on the player object. We're gonna have another and back, add a message and don't stand up. Gonna go ahead and always keep crouching, so let's see, that up. I'm gonna play that action. So now, instead of ping pong like the flipper we had, I think this is not gonna work anymore, because now I'm gonna go in and hit play. I'm releasing the button, but nothing's happening until I leave the object. So I'm underneath it and I'm releasing my circle, but my C button, my crouch button, and then I just, so that's how it works. And just to show you it actually works properly, I'm gonna take this whole thing and just scale it out. So now that thing is all the way in the center. I'm gonna crouch and I'm gonna go underneath it. And boom. Now it doesn't work. I'm gonna take this collider and I'm gonna scale it out. And play. And I'm trying to stand up, it's not working. I'm smacking this crouch key and it's not working. Then I just leave it and it stands up by itself. There we go. And what's fun with this? Okay, well, it's not small enough to do that, but you can do it. And now I want to push this in there. Okay, but I still need to get something else, and I just release. Okay, so let's just go back around. Push it out. In my way. And you will see he stands up by himself. So that's how we can do a first-person character controller. So thanks for watching, guys. If you found this useful, please give me a like and a subscribe, and I think I'll upload this blend file to the Blender Market, or maybe not even the Blender Market. I'll go and add it to my Dropbox and I'll put a link in the description for that. But this is pretty much easy to make, so it's not really necessary I actually do that. So the next time I should probably do like a ladder system. You can climb up a ladder, so when you glide with the ladder, it, instead of it going forward, it's gonna go upward until you hit the end of the ladder. It's gonna go across. So I think that's for the next tutorial, but right now I actually have to go to sleep because I'm working tonight. So I'm gonna save this, Control S, and I'm gonna save this to my documents. Go. And just rename this as FPS tutorial, just like that. First-person character tutorial. .link. And I'll put it on my desktop. Why not? And I'll save. So again, thanks for watching, guys. And you guys must have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. And also, like I said, if you liked it, give it a like. Didn't like it, give it a dislike. But also, please subscribe. I really need to get the channel to grow. I see. Speedy Gonzalez! Oh shit, I fell off. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. You guys must have a great day.